Look at this trap right here, d4, f5, e4. If they take queen to h5, they go g6, you pre-move bishop e2. They think it's a blunder, they take your queen, and then bishop takes h5 is checkmate. Now this is a really cool trap, and it actually comes from the Staunton Gambit, which is the opening we're looking at today, which is d4, they play the move f5, now you play e4, giving them a pawn, but if they take, you're actually in a very good position. In fact, Hikaru Nakamura even ranked this gambit as a top-tier gambit, one of the best gambits that there are. So, with that being said, let's take a look at this gambit. Now, the main continuation here is actually not queen h5, because the issue is after g6, bishop e2, they won't take, and then your queen's a bit misplaced, and at some point they might make room for the king, and then you're actually just going to have to move your queen again, which is why the typical response is knight c3 instead, simply attacking this pawn. Now they could give you the pawn for free, but typically they're going to defend it in one of two ways. If they go d5, suddenly queen to h5 is a lot stronger, because after g6, you can go queen takes d5. And after this trade, for example, there's pressure here on c7, and as you can see also these pawns in the center are stacked, which is typically not a good thing. So d5 doesn't really work. Now knight f6 is the other try, but this again not so good after, for example, bishop g5, and your idea is going to be to take and then to take here. And there's a couple of continuations here. Let's suppose that now they play the move d5. Well, then you can take, and then go queen h5, and after g6 it's even better this time because your knight has even more targets. You're going to win a pawn and be in a crushing position, which is why d5 is not a good move, and they probably will simply go knight c6 here, giving you back the pawn after like d5, the knight moves, takes, and if they give you back the pawn, well, no longer are you down a pawn, but you still have good central control, you still have very easy development. So for example, we could look at a line. If they play d6, you kick away the knight into a very awkward position, and then you just start to develop very naturally, queen d2, and let's say they play knight b6, you can even long castle, and you're going to be able to have a pretty big attack after this king, especially considering the weaknesses they've already made along this diagonal, and the fact that your pieces are pretty nicely placed to attack there, and your king is perfectly safe here. Maybe spend a move going king b1 at the right moment, and you're going to be perfectly fine. So you can see that essentially this gambit, if they try to hold on to the pawn, for example, knight f6, and then they realize this threat, so they go d5, that's not going to work for them. And, eventually you're going to end up winning even more material. You're going to be up a pawn and in a crushing position. So ultimately, their best bet is just give you the pawn and continue with like knight c6, but as you just saw, that also leads to quite pleasant positions where you can even castle the other direction and then have a beautiful attack coming. So this is just ultimately a very fun gambit. You can try that trap that I showed in the start with queen to h5, if you're playing bullet perhaps, or if you want to try to trick your friend, whatever. This is also a fine trap, and you're not in a losing position, of course, after, you can move your queen away, not there probably because of the bishop, but you can move your queen away to the right spot at the right moment, and you'll be perfectly fine. But also, playing knight c3, you're basically guaranteeing yourself a great game and a great continuation. Another benefit is you're very not cramped, but typically black will be cramped. So, if we look at a position like if they go knight c6, you can see that we're starting to kick away their pieces, and after a move like f4, the knight's already in a bit of an issue. Knight d7 is just blocking in the pieces. This bishop is also super sad here, whereas you have just a ton of space for your pieces to develop, every piece going to the perfect square wherever it really wants. So that's another huge benefit of this. And so overall, the space advantage that you have, the development advantage that you have, and also the weaknesses that this king has make this gambit a really, really solid try for you. So if you guys try this out, let me know how it goes. It's, I think, a great way to fight against the Dutch if you don't want to go into a mainline thing. And actually, this gambit scores better than moves like c4, And there's many sort of moves that might seem more natural, and like e3, it scores a lot better than that. So there's many moves that seem natural, specifically looking at c4, but this gambit actually scores much better than that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe for more videos like these, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.